Next tonight, it has been another difficult day for the survivors and families of victims involved in the infected bloody scan inquiry. Now today they heard from Virginia Bottomley. Now she was Health Secretary during the time contaminated blood was given to thousands of patients, infecting them with hepatitis and HIV. Our chief correspondent Tessa Chapman has been speaking to some of them affected.
I know, and this was him. This is how I always think of him. That beautiful smile and his twinkling eyes.
Nikki Calder was diagnosed with haemophilia as a baby, treated with contaminated blood products as a child, tested positive for HIV the day before he started secondary school.
It was horrific. We felt like the bottom had fallen out of our world because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how long he had left, whether he was going to die in 6 months.
Even with hepatitis C too, Nikki did live until he was 25, even married and had a baby, but it was a life cut cruelly short. More than 4,000 people are known to have died in the UK after being given contaminated blood products brought in from America.
Shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth.
Today at the independent inquiry, it was Virginia Bottomley's turn to take the oath. She was Health Minister, then Secretary in the late 80s and early 90s, and was quizzed over the government's much criticised response to calls for compensation.
This is a situation where there's a variable onset, and not everybody will have the same situation. But looking at these papers, I entirely understand with the resource situation, with our real desire not to fall down the slippery slope of no-fault compensation, not to extend these precedents, not to become like the US.
Jason Evans' dad never received compensation. He died when Jason was 4, another haemophiliac infected with HIV and hepatitis C.
He basically felt that it was his fault that my mum's life had been destroyed. Totally his fault. He took the blame for that very hard. And I know another way that he felt, like he had a cowbell around his neck ringing wherever he goes in the context of the stigma of AIDS.
Jason told me his entire life has been blanketed by his dad's death. Rosemary's pain and heartache is still raw. As they listen to the politicians who made high-level decisions, they want them to remember these personal stories. They hope this inquiry means people in power will finally face facts. Tessa Chapman, 5 News, at the Infected Blood Inquiry.